Many people living with diabetes eventually ask the same confusing question: can type 1 diabetes turn into type 2 diabetes? It sounds logical at first. Both conditions involve high blood sugar, both involve insulin, and both can affect the same organs over time. Because of these similarities, many people assume that type 1 diabetes might slowly evolve into type 2 diabetes as the body changes with age. But the reality is more complicated. Imagine someone diagnosed with type 1 diabetes as a teenager. For years, they rely on insulin injections or an insulin pump to keep their blood sugar stable. Everything works as expected. Then, years later, their doctor suddenly mentions something new: insulin resistance. Now the confusion begins. If insulin resistance is the defining feature of type 2 diabetes, does that mean their type 1 diabetes has turned into type 2? The answer may surprise you. The truth is that type 1 diabetes does not literally transform into type 2 diabetes. However, the body can develop additional metabolic changes over time that make the situation look very similar. Understanding this distinction is incredibly important for managing diabetes effectively and protecting long-term health. In this video, we will explore what is actually happening inside the body. To understand why type 1 diabetes cannot actually turn into type 2 diabetes, we first need to understand how these two conditions begin inside the body. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease. This means the immune system mistakenly attacks the insulin-producing beta cells in the pancreas. Over time, these cells are destroyed, and the body loses its ability to produce enough insulin. Without insulin, glucose cannot move from the bloodstream into the cells that need it for energy. That is why people with type 1 diabetes must take insulin every day to survive. Type 2 diabetes begins in a completely different way. In this condition, the pancreas usually still produces insulin, sometimes even more than normal. The problem is that the body's cells become resistant to insulin's signal. A simple way to think about it is this: insulin is like a key that unlocks your cells so glucose can enter. In type 1 diabetes, there are not enough keys. In type 2 diabetes, the locks stop responding properly. Because these biological mechanisms are different, one condition does not biologically transform into the other. However, the body can still develop new metabolic challenges later in life. Now, here is where the situation becomes interesting. Although type 1 diabetes cannot become type 2 diabetes, a person living with type 1 can still develop insulin resistance later in life. This means their body may face two separate metabolic challenges at the same time. First, the pancreas cannot produce enough insulin because of the autoimmune damage that defines type 1 diabetes. Second, the body's cells become less responsive to the insulin being injected. Doctors sometimes refer to this situation as double diabetes. When this happens, managing blood sugar can become more complicated. Someone who previously required a certain amount of insulin may suddenly notice they need higher doses to achieve the same glucose control. Blood sugar spikes may become more frequent, and glucose readings may become harder to stabilize. This change does not mean their diagnosis has changed. They still have type 1 diabetes, but the presence of insulin resistance adds another layer to the metabolic challenge. Recognizing this possibility allows doctors and patients to adjust treatment strategies and lifestyle habits accordingly. Doctors today are noticing that insulin resistance in people with type 1 diabetes is becoming more common than it was several decades ago. One reason is lifestyle. Modern life often includes long hours of sitting, reduced physical activity, processed foods, and disrupted sleep patterns. These factors increase the risk of insulin resistance in almost everyone, including people who already have type 1 diabetes. Weight gain can also contribute. Insulin is a powerful hormone that helps the body store energy. When higher doses of insulin are required, it can sometimes lead to gradual weight changes that make cells less sensitive to insulin. Another important factor is improved life expectancy. Thanks to advances like continuous glucose monitoring, insulin pumps, and better medical care, people with type 1 diabetes are living longer and healthier lives than ever before. But as the body ages, natural metabolic changes can occur. Cells may slowly become less responsive to insulin signals over time. This does not mean the original disease has changed. It simply means the body's metabolism is evolving. and treatment strategies may need to evolve as well. The encouraging news is that insulin resistance is strongly influenced by lifestyle habits, which means there are many ways to improve the body's metabolic response to insulin. Regular physical activity is one of the most powerful tools. Exercise increases insulin sensitivity, allowing muscle cells to absorb glucose more efficiently with less insulin. Nutrition also plays a key role. Balanced meals that combine fiber, protein, and healthy fats help stabilize blood sugar levels and reduce large glucose swings. Sleep quality matters more than many people realize. Poor sleep can significantly increase insulin resistance and make blood sugar harder to control the following day. Stress management is another important factor. Chronic stress raises hormones such as cortisol that can interfere with insulin action. Finally, modern technology like continuous glucose monitors allows people to detect patterns and adjust treatment strategies more effectively. These habits are not about perfection. They are about creating a metabolic environment where insulin can work as efficiently as possible. So let's return to the original question. Can type 1 diabetes turn into type 2 diabetes? The answer is no. These two conditions begin in completely different ways, and one does not transform into the other. Type 1 diabetes is driven by an autoimmune attack that destroys insulin-producing cells. Type 2 diabetes develops from insulin resistance and metabolic dysfunction. However, someone living with type 1 diabetes can develop insulin resistance over time. When that happens, doctors sometimes describe the situation as double diabetes. Understanding this concept helps patients and healthcare providers adjust treatment strategies, lifestyle habits, and long-term health planning. The key message is that knowledge gives you control. The more you understand about how diabetes works inside the body, the better equipped you are to protect your long-term health and keep blood sugar stable. If you found this explanation helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more clear and practical insights about diabetes health.